nom. Alright, Kaveh, hang out, let's go! Sue, no, not now. I'm doing hangouts. Boom. We will do after, Sue. We will do after, please. Let me finish all these quests. Exams are coming soon. I don't want to, you know, rush. Blah, blah, blah. We can do after our exam. Alright, Kaveh! Blue.
I've taken a look at your proposal. It's much better than the ones you showed me before, but I'd still like to make some changes.
Oh, come on, not again. Isn't this the 6th proposal I've shown you? What's your issue this time?
It's a bit hard to put into words, but the design still doesn't look quite right to me.
I have to say, that's a terribly vague and unconvincing explanation. Please enlighten me. What would feel more right to you?
For starters, don't you think this roof is jutting out a bit too far from the top? And look, this door, too. I don't think it needs to be nearly this large. If you could reduce it to around my height, you could use the leftover materials to construct a few more rooms.
Roof and the door are the most fundamental parts of a building. If we were to change them, then what would be left of the design? Even if the soul of the building won't be lost, all traces of architectural style would be gone. Anyone with the slightest inkling of architectural knowledge would know to leave them alone.
Oh, I understand the principles of what you are saying, of course, but the truth remains that I'm still a bit unhappy with the design as is. Is there anything else that you can do? Oh, actually, I just got an idea. Can we get rid of all the extraneous sections on the roof, so the whole design will just be one vertical structure, similar to that of a tree trunk?
What?
Don't architects often say that symmetry makes everything more balanced and pleasing to the eye? This way, the proportions will be completely balanced.
I really don't know how you managed to come up with such a ridiculous idea. Wait, don't tell me. Someone hired you specifically to commission me and put me through the ringer? Come to think of it, though, I really don't think I've gotten on anyone's bad side recently. Anyway, that's it. I will not be working on this commission anymore. Goodbye. Maybe you can find yourself some other genius who'll be able to satisfy your demands.
Hey, young man, please wait!
Someone's in the bad mood. Alright, let's cheer him up. Kaveh, we'll cheer you up, pal. Oh, look at him! Poor guy.
Taking this commission was truly the worst decision ever. Oh, hey, I wasn't expecting to run into you here. Actually, while we're on that, what are you doing here at the tavern? Don't listen to anyone who says that drinking is an elegant pastime. It's no good for your health. So you saw all that, did you? Ugh, I thought I was in the clear. I made sure to double check that nobody I knew was around. Anyway, thanks for looking out for me. Honestly, it wasn't that big of a deal. I'm used to it by now. Stress is just an inescapable part of being a working adult. Boss, I'll have a glass of wine. Same as last time. Do you want something too? I'll put it on my tab.
Wine in a glass of juice?
I know you're already keeping a secret from me, but if you could add this one to the list as well, I'd really appreciate it. Arguing with a client is not a good look for me. That guy, though. What was he even going on about? All those ridiculous demands of his? He's just a blabbering fool trying to act like a know-it-all. Another glass, please, boss. I'm not leaving today till someone has to carry me out.
You've got it, sir. I gotta say, though, it almost feels like you're saying that every other day now.
It really is every other day that you'd run into a client who knows nothing about construction requirements or architectural style. If this was in the past, I'd never have gone through 6 whole drafts trying to accommodate the client's preferences. But perhaps getting used to this just means that I've grown numb to it. I've worked on so many projects since graduation, and none of them have been approved at the first pass. I would spend a lot of time altering my designs, and by the time the clients were finally satisfied, all my passion and enthusiasm would be gone. It feels like I'm straying further and further from my artistic vision with every change I have to make. I suppose, though, that just sticking to your guns and completely disregarding other people's feedback would also not be a good thing. All of this makes for a real paradox, one that particularly crops up in my work, too. In the end, what is the true meaning of art? Should I see it as a divine gift of inspiration from the gods, or an expression of the light of my—
Here's your drink. How are you already spouting nonsense after just one glass? Your tolerance is usually much better than that.
Boss, what do you think is the meaning of art?
The meaning of art? Really, my friend, who in Sumeru understands art better than you? Anyway, I don't know about art, but I do know that I'm interested in business, and some patrons are waiting to be served. So, you'll have to excuse me for now. Just holler if you need anything.
What do you think, traveler? Yes, art shouldn't be self-indulgent entertainment saved for the elite. Let's say that I built a house for someone. If they don't like how it looks, then no matter how brilliant it may appear to me, they won't be happy with it. The problem is that it can be very difficult to get validated by others. I could compromise my personal standards to accommodate my clients, but often that just means creating a final product that I would struggle to look at. Sounds great to me. I don't even want to think about this project anymore. But what should we do? It's probably not a good idea to just drink until I pass out here. A different career. I think I've heard a saying somewhere before. 80% of a working adult's woes are due to not having enough mora in the bank. It's just a saying, of course, but even I will admit that my life would be a lot better if I could make additional mora. And if I want to make mora, I should finish that ridiculous commission. Hold on. I just remembered that I used to have a senior classmate by the name of Alkami. If memory serves me right, he's no longer taking private commissions, but he's still doing pretty well for himself. Maybe I'll be able to get some advice from him.
Alright, different career for Kaveh. Can't believe it. He actually did 6. Oh! It's 6 of what do you say it? 6 architecture design blueprint. That's the word. If that guy's still not satisfied. If you don't satisfy, why didn't you? Like, you know, after the first one, this and that. No. Okay, so where's thing gonna be here? Maybe here, or maybe super far away, like how first we were here, and then we go shoo, all the way down there. No matter where Fontaine is, it's gotta be fun. Grab these buffs on the way. Give us more. Can I get on it? Yeah. Alright, don't drown now.
Yeah.
There we go.
Ah, Kaveh, it's you. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time, Alkami. Things haven't changed much for me.
I heard that you were the genius behind the Palace of Alcazazare. I bet you're all set for Mora after a project of that size.
Well, it's hard to make a profit from every project, you know?
Hard to make a profit. You've got to be joking. I've never met an architect who didn't make a profit from a project. Unless the client fled before they paid the commission fee in full. But that doesn't sound right either. Doesn't Dory have a pretty decent reputation in our local business circles? I don't think she's ever been involved in any kind of big scandal.
Well, about that. I mean, it was complicated.
I understand. Either way, doing one project after another sure gets exhausting over the years, huh? I've been there, so I can feel your pain. I mean, I obviously never had your reputation to live up to. That must have been stressful. But I'm sure we faced all the same problems. Trying to keep your client in a good mood while you're trying to stop them from micromanaging things they don't know the first thing about. I don't miss it. Thankfully, that's all behind me now. Not exactly. My work is still closely related to architecture. Judging from the look on your face, you're still strapped for Mora. That's quite unfortunate. You're the most artistically gifted graduate the Kasharawar Darshan has seen in decades. But it looks like you still have a lot to learn in terms of making Mora. With that said, us Kasharawar grads should still look out for each other. What if I told you about an idea that'll absolve you of all your Mora troubles going forward?
Are you serious? But something like that has got to be some kind of top-level business secret. Besides, I don't want to just take something like that without offering anything in return. I still have a little Mora.
Oh, you're too kind. This is just a simple tip. Even if I didn't bring it up, I'm sure you'd hear it from the others sooner or later. The idea is this. I recently opened up a training center with the goal of educating people in architecture design. Compared to the classes taught by those old fossils at the academia, my classes are more condensed and streamlined and will allow people to quickly get their foot in the door. Unlike the academia, I won't turn down anyone who's interested, rich or poor. It just so happens that I'm still looking for a few more instructors. So, what do you say? Regardless of the pay, I can already guarantee that it'll be far more comfortable than working on random people's private commissions.
Ah, so you want me to join you as an instructor? That does sound like something I'd be able to do. What do you think, Traveler?
Then it's a deal.
Yes, it's a deal.
Like I said, there's no need to thank me for this. As for the pay, how about we start at 300,000 Mora per lecture?
300,000? Are you serious? How could you offer so much?
It would seem that you're still oblivious to your own economic worth. 300,000 is nothing compared to the prestige of having the Light of Kasharawar as one of my instructors. 300,000 is also just the base rate. Just trust me on this. The longer you stick with me, the more you'll come to understand your true value in the market. I have to go make some preparations now.
I was never particularly close with Alkami when we were in school. I've hosted free lectures before, but this would be my first time being hired to lecture for a formal business. Thanks so much. Now, what should I talk about tomorrow? Some lessons I've learned over the past few years? All right, let's meet here again tomorrow morning. I should hurry home and create some kind of lesson plan.
Now he can make 300,000 more. That's a good thing.
Oh,
I was up last night preparing for the lecture, but I ended up getting so excited that I couldn't fall asleep.
lesson plan. Ah, I must commend you for your dedication. But the training center has already developed its own set of teaching materials. Instead of using your own plan, you can just use what we have here. Sure, be my guest. It's almost time for the lecture to start.
Huh. So you've already developed your own set of teaching materials. Seems like I won't need the stuff I've prepared after all. There's something else I want to ask, though.
Ah, no need to stress. There are only 20 people in this class. There are 14 classes at my training center. Out of all of them, the first class has the best grades, so I've directed them to you. We'll see how well they take to your lectures.
20 people, huh?
Oh, and one last thing. In the interest of keeping a quiet learning space, only instructors and students are allowed in the classroom when class is in session. I'm sorry to say this, but your friend will have to wait outside while he...
Sorry about that.
Hey there. Can I help you? Oh, Alkami? You mean that rich guy who's been making quite the name for himself? Yeah, he commissioned a set of furniture from me a while back. I heard he earned a fortune working as a renowned architect. Now he's opened a training center so others can follow in his footsteps. If the tuition wasn't sky high, I'd enroll my child in a heartbeat. Architecture really sounds like a lucrative profession.
Did you hear? Alkami recruited Kaveh to be an instructor.
I bet that'll boost his enrollment numbers.
Really makes you jealous, eh? If you think about it, Alkami was never that talented himself as an
That's true, but you've got to admit, his advertisements are really effective. After all, the academia only admits those that can pass its entrance exam. So only a few people could hope to study architecture in the halls of the Kasharwar. For those who can't pass the exam, or who just want to jump straight into the industry, the training center is the best bang for the Mora.
Man, to have that kind of business acumen.
All right, everyone. There's no need to be nervous. Class is over, so we can just chat for a bit.
No, you weren't scary at all, Mr. Kaveh. We were just a bit lost and didn't get what you were talking about.
Oh, don't get me started. I was trying to use Alkami's materials, so I flipped through some pages and gave them a closer look. The more I read, the more upset I became. Alkami may fool an amateur, but he can't fool anyone who's active in our profession. The materials he made are completely useless for teaching real architecture. In my opinion, the most important skill of an architect is their ability to craft a design. There are tens of thousands of buildings in the world, as well as a countless number of architectural styles. The architects who can critically evaluate the quality and fit of different designs are those who can come up with great designs of their own. All these students are doing in class is rote memorization of existing designs. How can they expect to become real architects? When they're done with this class, all they'll become are dilettantes with a pitiful smattering of architectural knowledge.
But, Mr. Kaveh, we didn't really understand anything you said after you threw away the materials either. What's the big deal anyway? It's not like we're looking to make some works of art. We just want to make some Mora.
You're studying architecture to make Mora?
Yeah. Why else would we be studying here? My biggest dream is to become someone like Mr. Alkami.
Huh. In that case, I'm afraid you'll probably be disappointed.
But how? Mr. Alkami just told us last night that you made a killing by building the Palace of Alcazarzare. He also said that as long as we graduate from his class, waves upon waves of people will reach out to us with private commissions. It won't be long before I can put these miserable days behind me.
Come on.
But Mr. Alkami is really rich, isn't he?
You... Let's go, traveler. Let's hear about Alkami's true plans from the man himself.
What's wrong, Kaveh? You look quite flustered. Were the students not astute enough for your liking?
Yeah, I'm mad at them. But I'm even more upset that you're scamming people under the guise of teaching them about architecture. The students are all here hoping for a quick way to make money. But we both know that an architect's life is hard and exhausting. Just a little while ago, I was toiling over the 6th draft of a design for a client. If your client is unhappy, you can't break ground. And the longer a project goes, the longer it takes for you to get paid in full. What's worse, if your client disappears in the middle of a project, good luck getting anything from them ever again. You know all of this just as well as I do. Why lie to them?
Look, Kaveh, you may be the light of Ksharawar, but like I said, you still have a lot to learn about making Mora. You may deny it all you want, but it's a fact that in today's Sumeru, architecture is a terrible profession. Our clients care very little for the effort we pour into our designs. Instead of appreciating us, they spend all their time nitpicking details and demanding changes, often forcing all kinds of ridiculous ideas onto us.
I suppose that's more or less true.
Why should we cling on to a profession that's difficult and unrewarding? If the field is dying, then a person who still wants to make a good living will just have to change their strategy. If it's near impossible to make money as an architect, then why not just establish a training center and train other people to become architects in our stead?
Wait, how does that make any sense?
We are already stuck, my friend. The more people we can lead into this pit and stack as padding beneath our feet, that's right. Making money as an architect is a slow and agonizing process. In comparison, earning tuition from a training center is far easier. None of the students will ever know, however. In their eyes, all of my income was earned during my years as an architect. The more students I get, the more money I earn.
And then what? Once they graduate, they'll still find out the truth about architecture and struggle to stay afloat amid all the problems we already talked about. When that happens, your facade will pop like a soap bubble.
Ah, but that's just one way to look at the problem. No two people have the same amount of talent. Even if they fail to strike gold in the future, you can't say that it's my fault and mine alone. Oh, and also, I never actually promised that they would achieve financial freedom as long as they become architects. I'm not even scared if they do come back and stir up trouble. My training center has all the required permits and certifications.
How can you sleep at night knowing that you're doing all this? I can't believe that I once saw you as a decent human being.
And the same goes to you. How many years has it been since you graduated from the academia? If you still can't accept something like this, do you just plan on keeping that worthless naivete of yours? And only fools will see art as revered and sacred. In the end, art is just another business. I urge you to think about what I've said. As the light of the Ksharawar, you've accumulated plenty of fame and respect. Think it over, Kaveh.
I'm so mad, I feel a headache coming on. There's nothing more I can say to him. Of course, I'm sure you've realized that as long as I remained at this center, he would be able to use my name to advertise this place. He is right about one thing, though. The most that they could accuse him of is false advertising. Oh? Did you notice something else? Yeah. The rate he gave me was 300,000 mora per lecture. That probably came out of the students' tuition. If you're gambling everything on making it rich as an architect, are you really going to have the mora to pay for that kind of tuition? Right. We should hurry. We're never going to get any information from them again if we let Alkami talk to them first.
Oh, Mr. Kaveh? What are you doing back here?
Class finished a while ago, but you're still here.
I wanted to stay for a little longer. I'm still thinking about everything you taught during the class. Even though a lot of it went right over my head,
Of course they were. All the examples I drew were world-famous landmarks. It's a good thing that you could recognize them for their beauty.
Resonate?
Yes. When I first got into architecture, there were many things about it that I couldn't understand at all. And for most people, just being able to admire a building is enough. To become a good architect, however, you must also learn to assess and appraise. Going from admiration to assessment will take a lot of time and specialized knowledge.
Just as I thought. Becoming an architect won't be as easy as Mr. Alkami made it out to be.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to crush your dreams. All I want to tell you is that an architect's life is not as carefree and easy as others may make it out to be.
I understand. Thank you for telling me the truth, Mr. Kaveh. I think I'll still stay here for the time being.
Paid off what?
Sorry, I can't say anything more. Mr. Alkami made it very clear that anyone who talks about it will be kicked out of the class.
Don't listen to him. I am the most famous architect in Sumeru. Why would I pull your leg?
Then please keep this a secret for me, Mr. Kaveh. Mr. Alkami was the one who reached out to my parents. He told them that he knew a merchant by the name of Bahar, and he told all the students that once we graduate, people would come flocking to commission us for projects.
How much did your family borrow from this merchant?
I think it was several million mora.
And what was the interest rate?
I'm not really sure. My parents were the ones who signed the contract. All I know is that the stack of papers was as thick as a slab of rock.
Yeah, I have a bad feeling too. We need to find that merchant to confirm. But if we were to confront him right now, good idea.
We last saw him on the north shore of Port Ormos.
Well, it'd still be worth taking a look. We need to do something before the students' lives are ruined.
I don't think so, Sue. I'm trying to finish all the quests here. Or Prime Gym, you know? Wait, I should... Oh, I can't teleport, can I? No, never mind. I get all those... then... Yes.
Oh. I don't think I've ever seen you guys before.
You're Fahar, right?
Yes.
Alkami. My friend here wants to enroll in his architecture class, but there are...
Oh, sounds like his business is booming.
Let me see.
Oof. You call that a bit short on money? Here you go. Don't worry, there's...
And what if they won't be able to pay it back?
What do you mean, won't be able to pay it back? Once you graduate from Alkami's place, you'll be making millions of mora, and even if you were to run into some difficulties and need to delay the installments, it's no big deal. We're all reasonable people here. It's hard work running a business. If we're taking risks to supply you with mora, it's only fair that you take on a bit of the financial risk as well. Anyway, there's...
I just did some calculations in my head. When you say the interest will get a little higher, do you mean it'll get higher than 30%? Of course, the contract did a great job of trying to obfuscate that fact. If you actually do the math, however, it's clear that the amount you need to pay on interest alone will amount to hundreds of thousands of mora per year. Even my creditor doesn't dare to raise rates that high.
What are you trying to say, huh? I figured something was off when two well-dressed people came looking for a loan. Too many people are sticking their noses where they don't belong these days.
Eremites. There are only a few of them, so they shouldn't pose much of a threat. Following orders.
Feeling
Scanning.
lucky today.
With the wind! Sight clear. Come at me. Sight clear.
I'll be back.
Who are you? And I don't think we've done anything to hurt or offend you.
Debt has the power to upend your whole life, but my debts are the culmination of many different factors, and my interest rate is still somewhat reasonable. But these students are different. You sold the dreams of becoming an architect to the students as bait.
Ha! Everyone knows there's no such thing as a free lunch. And if we're going to talk about greed, aren't those students the ones who are blinded?
Ha! And here comes the silver tongue. People grow by learning from their mistakes. Let's head back to the academia and turn... Sino?
My vacation just ended not too long ago. I see. As it is highly likely that Alkami is also benefiting from this scheme, any funds we manage to recover from the suspects will be returned to the students.
That should still be enough. Anyway, thank you for your help.
It's no trouble. Just another day at work. Did you accept any mora from him?
He promised to pay me 300,000 mora per lecture, but I resigned as soon as I finished the first session.
Ah, that's good.
Hmm? What do you mean, that's good? Would you have taken me into custody as well if I had actually accepted any mora?
I wouldn't have gone that far. But, had he insisted that you were also an active participant in his schemes... Either way, though, I believe you are innocent in all of this.
Hey, what was that? What do you mean my life is a mess?
Never mind.
You're just messing with me now, aren't you?
Let's get back to business.
Huh. I didn't even know there was such a thing.
The reward will be given regardless of your personal motivations.
Fine.
Is there anything else?
I want to go back to the training center one more time and talk to some of the kids.
Sure. But you should wait until tomorrow.
All right. Then I'll stay out of their way.
I have a few other things to take care of, so I'll be off for now.
That should finally be the end of that. To think Alkami would sink this low. Still, I think I feel a little better now than when you found me back at the tavern. It's a little ironic, but you could say it's because I've realized that there are many circumstances in the world that are even worse than my own. How should I put it? I'm pretty stubborn when it comes to my profession, so I often argue with my clients. The arguments are usually extremely frustrating. Alkami's suggestion would have allowed me to quit my life as an architect and earn money solely from my reputation. Every scholar has their own sense of pride and a line that they don't like to cross. Just speaking for myself, though, I don't think that's something I'd ever be able to do. The voice in my heart would just keep repeating one thing. The moment I turn away from my dreams would be the moment my career ends. If I stop devoting everything to my creative activities, at that point, any materialistic ease I may have gained in life would just become another form of torment. I appreciate it. It's certainly not easy, but I want to keep at it. My thanks again for being such a great help throughout all of this. All right, I'll see you tomorrow then.
Would have guessed Mr. Alkami.
The training center has been shut down.
Mr. Kaveh said we can keep working on our fundamentals.
Ha! Easier said than done. Only the best of the best can get into the academia study.
Mr. Kaveh might be with...
Why? What reason does he have to stick around?
So, you're the only ones that showed up today.
Huh?
Now, that's Mr. Kaveh to you. I'm here as your instructor, so I'll keep instructing you for a while longer. You can pass on the message to the other students. As long as someone wants to come. Oh, also, I'm usually pretty busy, so I'll only be able to teach architecture fundamentals on my days off. Another disclaimer. I can't promise that you'll all be able to understand everything I'm going to teach. Architecture is not an easy profession. If you want to design safe buildings, you'll have to go through a systematic study of structural engineering. And just as a heads up, all of this will be a huge step up from the superficial stuff you were learning before.
We'll try our best.
It seems some of you are really serious about this after all. All right, everyone, pack your stuff up. You'll know once we get there.
Wait, this is the event place.
This lighthouse has been around for a long time. The point of today is not so much about the lighthouse as a building, however. I just want you to take a look at it and do a bit of self-reflection. Don't think about how you'd actually go about building it for now. Just put your ideas to paper. And
So, it can be, any kind of building?
yep, as long as you think it'd look good. In my experience, it's best to approach the study of architecture from a point of personal interest. Both the study and practice of architectural design are extremely difficult. So at least for today, I hope the students will be able to create something that they enjoy. What do you think? Want to try your hand at it as well?
I was like, that was his expression, emotion right now. What was that? Oh wait, there's only one on this?
Taking this commission was truly the worst decision ever. Oh, actually, while we're on that, what are you doing here at the tap? Anyway, stress is just an inescapable part of being a working adult. Boss, do you want something too? I'll put it on my tab.
Wine in a glass.
I know you're already keeping a secret from me. That guy, though. Another glass, please.
You've got it, sir.
It really is, but perhaps getting used to this just means that I've grown numb to it. I would spend a lot of time altering my designs. I suppose, though, that just all of this makes for a real paradox.
Here's your drink.
Boss?
The meaning of art. Anyway, I don't know about art, but
What do you think, traveler? Exactly. In Sumeru, and especially Sumeru of the... It's too bad that I'm not in my best form today. He understands nothing about my design. And all the suggestions he made were as if he... You mean... Time to get going. There's no time to waste.
Hello there, Wiz. Do I know you? Hello, welcome to the stream today. Holy heck, that is too far away.
Kaveh.
I've changed my mind.
My apologies as well. If I choose you to create the design for my project...
Thank you for understanding. To be perfectly honest, your commission request has been the most peculiar one I've ever received. Even now, I still know nothing about the building's intended purpose. I am aware that overly specific requests will restrain the architect's artistic freedom. I've produced several draft proposals for you to choose from, and you've rejected every single one.
Yes, I've given this some thought already. It's just... Putting the building design aside, can we get some less expensive materials for the floor tiles? The timber here as well.
Please give me a moment. So, let me get this straight. You want to reduce the cost of the project, right? Architectural design cannot be neatly split into discrete parts. Same with the tiles. If all you need is a building with a roof that can keep people dry in the rain...
Actually, Please tell me.
I think the most important thing for me is to understand what you would actually like to get. If you could tell me more about your vision, I might be able to work with the design some more.
I want to build something unique. I want all who enter this building to be able to temporarily forget everything that's going on outside of the building.
That's a bit more information than last time. We've gone through many proposals and...
Thank you for giving it so much thought. I still have a few business meetings that I must attend, so...
I also have a similar feeling. Is that really okay? He does seem really suspicious, though. That's actually pretty common. The more Mora some people have, the more they love interfering with people's lives. Actually, now that I think about it, who knows how long construction will take if he keeps delaying things like this? Huh? Where did he go? I could have sworn he went this way.
My day's been going good, Wiz. Not too bad.
Hey,
a little
look!
tired right now.
Isn't that Badawi?
What about you?
It sure looks like him, but he's dressed completely different now.
Didn't I tell you before? I'm not. Plus, aren't you a bit old for physical labor?
Oh, you won't have to worry about that. I don't have many talents, but I still have my muscle.
You used to be an Aramite mercenary?
I know there are a lot of bad apples in our ranks.
I'm sorry, but I still can't take you in.
Okay.
He used to be a member of the Aramites? We meet again.
Huh?
That's what we wanted to ask you. Who are you? There's no need for us to continue this project if you still want to keep hiding things from us.
Believe me, I didn't have any bad intentions. All right, there's no point hiding anything anymore. The building I'm trying to commission you for is not really a personal residence for me, but rather a library for children living in the desert.
A library? I've heard that the academia will be looking to prioritize the desert with the allocation of educational resources and materials.
You're right, and I was aware of these happenings as well. The desert is too vast. Even if the academia spends a lot of effort trying to disseminate knowledge in those parts, it might still take decades. And what's more, all I know is that as a desert dweller, we should not wait passively for good things to happen to us. I don't have much longer left on this world, so I didn't want you to know that I came from the desert.
To the point that you even disguised your identity?
When I first came to Sumeru's city, I brought a lot of Mora, hoping to find an architect that I could work with. Someone agreed to take on the project, and even took a sum of Mora from me. After that, I heard that there are a lot of untrustworthy people in this business. I spent a while collecting information in the city, and eventually learned that you're the most famous architect in all of Sumeru. By the way, how did you know I was scammed?
Just a hunch. A while ago, I accepted an offer to work on a project in the desert, and was also scammed out of a large sum of mora. I ran into someone who was living in a pretty run-down house. I noticed a load-bearing wall on the verge of collapse, and suggested that I build a new house for him. He said that he had no way to pay for it, so I loaned him some of my own mora, and after that, he even borrowed mora from me twice more. According to him, I looked like an easy target because I was an academia scholar who didn't have any family or friends in the desert.
Those kinds of things do happen every once in a while, yes.
It's all right. Ultimately, neither of our experiences had anything to do with the desert or the rainforest. Yeah, you'll find both good and bad people everywhere. Anyway, I digress.
That's what I was afraid of initially, yes. I've done the math and know that we should be able to make it if we cut some corners. So, I decided to try and see if I can afford your proposal as is.
By cobbled together, you mean you're going to spend your entire life savings on this project?
To be honest, I haven't really thought about that. All I want is to build this library before I leave this world, so that the children of the future would have some books to read. A while ago, I heard that the academia had decided to recruit a number of exceptional children from the desert. I know the desert life and can predict what the problems will be. So even if the academia would take them in, once they enter the halls, they might find themselves surrounded by other children who look and act very differently from them.
Yes. My father passed away at an early age. I'm sure a child coming all the way from the desert will have an even harder time. But let's bring this back to the building itself. Building it according to the current plan will be quite costly. Sponsor the project? That does make sense. What do you think?
It's all fine with me. But
well, you're right. If her? Hard pass. With her shrewd and greedy personality, she would never put Mora into something like this. Now there's an idea. Let's go and pay her a visit.
Follow the wind. Yeah.
Oh, now here is some unexpected when I saw Kaveh.
Hey, can't you think of something else for a change? What is the point of wealth, anyway?
That's exactly right. If you ask me, this place is still way too empty.
You're hopeless.
Oh, so you have an actual reason to visit me? Merchants. Oh, I see.
I knew you wouldn't be interested in something like this.
Sure, I can connect you with some folks.
A fee? You...
Of course! Since we've known each other for so long, though, I'll give you a huge returning customer discount. How about...
500,000? Besides, by helping us out, you'd be doing a great service to the public.
3 of my business partners came by earlier today to discuss...
Thank you so much.
You can wait here. I'll bring them over to you.
Dory gave us a brief introduction about the two of you. You are Kaveh, the renowned architect. To be frank...
All right, here's the situation.
So it's a public welfare project?
Correct.
Then the commission fees will likely be very low.
I'm not too concerned about how much I'll get for the commission fees, actually.
So what? Besides, what does a library in the desert have to do with us?
Hey, there's no need to be so harsh. They are Dory's associates, after all. So we'd mostly be doing it for reputation and exposure?
Well, just speaking for myself.
I also have a concern.
Then how about this?
Wouldn't that just
Yes, but in that case...
I'll just give an example. A whole suite of buildings will be able to host more traffic, and thus drive the economic development of the entire area. I've been to the desert several times.
Education in the desert is indeed an industry that has not been tapped into.
And you just believe anything he tells you?
Even the greenest amateurs know that urban planning will affect population flow.
You...
Wait, something just occurred to me. If we're going to build a library in the desert, Aru Village would obviously be the best place for it. But it seems we're not the only ones with our eyes on the village.
What?
What?
In other words, if we try to join the fray now, if we want to build a suite of buildings focused on education and culture, Aru Village is the prime location.
Then there's no hurry. We can wait for Aru Village to develop more first and get into the market for expansion to other areas.
But if you...
Is there nothing else to discuss? Great timing! I pretty much heard all I want to hear.
I'll be off as well. If you have any new ideas,
It seems like the others are not interested in funding this, so no point in me doing this on my own.
Hey, guys! Well, what can I say? Yeah, it's just another day doing business with people. Looks like we'll have to figure out some other way to get the funding.
How did the meeting go? Want to talk about it? Oh, where did all that passion go from earlier?
Please don't tell me that you're here to mock.
What kind of person do you take me for? You can try to talk up the project all you want,
But this isn't just a business project. Also, if you already knew no one would want to partner with us, what?
You might want to remember who your creditor is before you start talking like that, Kaveh.
I'll pay back every last coin that I still owe you.
Alright, since you're so devastated about this. In fact, I'll be inviting the most famous merchant in all...
What? So, where...
Follow me.
I just wish that some people would actually do their jobs.
This is the place.
You said you're going to introduce us to the...
You still don't get it, huh? The most famous...
Huh? So you meant yourself all along?
Well, I've given it some thought, and that complex of education and culture buildings that you mentioned does hold some promise. It'll be a pretty big Mora sink, and
Seriously? Where's this generosity coming from so suddenly?
the reasons are not important. However, you know just as well as me that once this project actually breaks ground, it'll start sucking Mora from my pockets like crazy.
I get it. I won't charge any commission fees.
Splendid!
This way, the Of course. There are a few things better than using my knowledge to help other people change their fates. I must thank you as well, Dory. Now, let's have a quick discussion.
There's no rush.
Huh? The deed? So hold on a sec. The person who has been buying up everything around Aru Village was you?
Oh my, did I not tell you about that? So, from my perspective...
But what about my commission fees?
Huh? Didn't you waive those yourself? But before I could finish my sentence...
It's obvious that you used every trick in the book to deceive me.
Huh? You really think so?
Fine. I'll drop the argument on the commission fees. I'm going to order the best dishes and booze this place has to offer.
I wonder if I'll ever...
And that's how Kaveh is. Well, oh, shut the door. I put the... Right, and boom. Well, yeah, Sue, sorry, not today, pal. I want to finish everything, literally everything before exam, so maybe after exam we can have a little duel.
This robe.
What the heck happened to Ether? Look at Ether. What the... leg. Oh, there we go.
If you ever...
Boom, boom. Well, anyway. Stream. I'll see you guys on the next one. Finishing. What happened? Why is it black? Yoink.